video is sponsored by Envato Elements. More about their library of over 11 million assets at the end of the video. So I just got back from Hawaii where I shot an entire documentary on both the FX3 and the FX30. This was new for me because I'm usually shooting on bigger cinema cameras. This is the first time I've done an entire project exclusively on mirrorless cameras. So in today's video, I want to break down the gear I was using, and I want to talk about the three aspects which I think are the most difficult things when shooting mirrorless, which is getting good focus, getting good audio, and also getting the best handheld footage. So this is a bit of a mini masterclass today, so let's jump into it. One thing I want to answer up front really quickly, because I get this question quite often, is what are my camera settings? And to be honest, I don't really do anything that fancy. I just shoot S-Log3, UHD, and I try to keep it at 800 ISO as much as possible. If I have to, I will boost up to the 12,800, but on the FX30, I find it a bit more noisy, so I try to stay at 800 for that most of the time. Also, the other thing I do is I have to have a monitor on set where I can look at the footage with my MB Cine LUT as I'll be applying that in post. So it really helps to see on set what the footage will look like in my timeline. And as well, false colors are so crucial. I won't use a monitor that doesn't have false colors because I would say exposure is probably more important as any camera setting. All right, let's get into tip one. That goes there. So our first point we're talking about is focus. And I'm gonna be using a bit of this rig here that I have. This is the FX30 with a Sony 24-105, a small HD Action 5, and a Deity S Mic 25. Now, my first point is focus. And now, this is less an issue than it's been in the past because there is such incredible autofocus on these cameras now. But my main point is practice your focus. There's times where your autofocus will fail you. And if you're unpracticed with manual focus, you're gonna fail just as much. Focus is so important to have a sharp image on your screen. This is everything for your film. Now, one of the best ways I guarantee my focus, the way I know that I'm never going to mess up my focus, is I get a monitor, at least a 5-inch monitor. Stay away from this thing. This is not your friend. It's great for menus. It's not great for focus. It's actually terrible for focus. If you can do your focus on that screen with the crazy red outlines, I applaud you. And then also get into the menu systems. I only found out recently that you can actually prioritize your left and right eye with the Sony camera, or you can just do auto. But this is so good when you have a camera from the side on an interview. You don't want it to be focusing to the wrong eye. And different lenses are better at autofocusing than others. My Sigma Prime series E-mount, amazing at autofocus. My Sigma 24-70, not so much. So I'm not sure when I want to use that lens. So I'm careful when I use certain lenses, depending if the focus is going to be easy or difficult to attain. Next, let's talk audio.
Put shoes on, because...
Yo, look what saved me.
Wait, is that your HDMI?
My HDMI just saved me from totally bailing.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Oh, there you go.
Good work. Today's video is brought to you by HDMI, the port.
All right. Oh, first bonus tip before we get into audio is someone just gifted me this. This is called a Screwy. They're not sponsoring me. This is a screwdriver, and I have not taken it off my belt this entire trip. The amount of times that I need to just whip this out and use it has been impeccable. So I'll put a link below. I didn't realize it was the missing piece of gear that I've always needed. Let's get this camera closer too. There we go. So if you're going to be on a mirrorless camera like I am, one of the reasons why I love like the FX30 or the FX3 is they have the top handle with XLR. XLR is just more balanced, more reliable. You want to get away from having to use the mini jack audio as much as possible. There's a few options to get good audio, and you can leave a comment below. I'm probably going to do a whole video about miking in the wind because I had to do that for my tornado project. But get a good shotgun, and you see I'm outdoors here with just this soft foamy. I recommend getting, oh, it's on this camera, my MKE 200, getting something that has a windsock. If you're going to be outside, just always have a windsock. You never know when wind's going to hit the capsule. The next piece of gear I want to recommend, this is probably my favorite piece of gear we have. It's really stuck here. Can't see it, but it's deep inside this ball of tape. and it's a Cause 11 mic from Sanken. We have bought different packs, like the Sennheiser pack, I have a Sony pack, and the first thing we do is we throw out the lav mic that they give us, and we get a Cause 11. This is expensive, but this is like a mini shotgun. This is one of the best sounding lavs that you can get at this price point. I believe it's around 500. I know that sounds expensive, but again, this will be the only lav you'll ever have to buy. And if you go to audio places like True Audio in Toronto, they'll fix it up. They'll adjust any of the things that break on it. It's amazing. We've broken this a bunch of times and they just rewire it for us. We have these mics for life. They sound amazing. But if you're doing a mini documentary shoot and you have a setup like this, I suggest one shotgun. I brought my 416 from Sennheiser because it's a tremendous mic. Aha. Sometimes having an external recorder like the Zoom H4n, you can buy these for so cheap now because there's so many different versions, but they're great to have if you don't have XLR on your camera. Just make sure to hit record twice. The Sennheiser AVX, they haven't sponsored this video, but this is a great piece of gear because it attaches right in there. Now I have my shotgun and my wireless transmitter. This Sanken mic, the Cause 11. It's not actually this big, this is the tape. We put the tape, because I can just stick that to someone's chest, button up my shirt, and you'll never know that I had the mic there. And now it's like you have a boom mic right on me right now. And then if you really want to dial in, what we've been using on this trip is the Tentacle sync packs, which go in through audio timecode. So in something like the FX30 here with the top handle, there's one more little slot up here that you can put in a mini jack input. And so if you put the Tentacle sync in that and had those packs, they're just like a little lav pack that you can record right into and put that on your person, and then you can sync it in post. There's plenty of videos on YouTube about this. You can go look at it. But you can then have as many channels of audio as you want because you'll just sync it later. Bare minimum, shotgun and a lav mic on your camera setup. I really like this. The AVX doesn't go super far, but it's nice because it's really tiny. You can attach it to this, and now your setup isn't all that heavy. Let's get to my final point. By the way, one bonus tip, I didn't know about this with the Pete McKinnon bag here, is there's this pouch that pulls out of the bag and then becomes a backpack. I'm just smelling it because I fell in water on this trip. This got fully submerged. All off, there we go, just a little bit of water. No, you can have all of this. Monitors, vents, and water.
Liquid cooling.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, liquid cooling. And the gear was okay. If you're wondering what lenses I brought on the trip, I have my 24mm and I have my Helios. Love that lens. Go without it. Oh, and fashion tape. This is your friend. On that Cause 11 you saw, we had it wrapped in fashion tape, and it will stick to the human body or fashion. I want to show you something. It's a YouTuber in the wild. We got Levi Allen right here.
And it's from that place that you can start decisions, and that's going to allow you to actually...
Levi is a really cool guy, and I can talk like this because I'm wearing the Sanken mic that is right here. Look at the YouTuber in the wild. Creates his shot with magnificent composure, confused of how his tripod works. Are you done? Okay. It's giving you the David Attenborough treatment. I'm gonna jump in your video now. I think I'm gonna record the rest of mine tomorrow.
Sounds great.
But which is kind of meta because I'm recording it right now. Figure that out. Hey, it's me again. And I am in, or rather back in Canada. And I wanted to quickly talk about today's sponsor, Envato Elements. This video I actually edited all myself. I did. It's because all of our editors are booked on films right now. And if you notice, there was a bunch of graphics on this video I normally don't have. I usually just do Babass as the titles because I suck at graphics and I don't hire people who are good at them either. Sorry to all my editors. But that's truly why I love Envato Elements, because it's so easy to get good graphics from them. You just go onto their website, you click on video templates, and you click on the software you're using. I use Premiere for everything. And then I just type in what I need. In this case, I wrote lists. And then I found all these cool graphics for lists that are just motion graphic files that I import into Premiere, and they're so easy to use. It saves me so much effort from either having to hire someone to do graphics or figure that out myself. But Envato's library doesn't just stop there. It has so many different elements from music, video, but my favorite thing that they have is presentation templates. I even used one recently for my parents' Christmas card, and they were totally wowed by it, where I created a presentation rather than a physical card. And super easy, made it in like 10 minutes. Envato Elements library is huge, it's hassle-free, it's unlimited downloads, and what I really like about them is they let you cancel anytime. They don't lock you into a subscription or anything forever. It's really easy to join and leave whenever you need to. So check out Envato Elements, put the link below, and let's jump back to Mark Bone, who's also in Hawaii. Hi, the last point is handheld. You need to be good at handheld with a mirrorless camera, especially a mirrorless camera. They are tiny, so they get the micro jitters of your hands holding the camera. The most important thing, and if you've been on this channel for any amount of time, you have heard me say this all the time, is a top handle. It's a must. You must have a top handle. You have to, and I'll tell you why. Top handle works with gravity. Right now you can see how still the camera is because I'm just allowing gravity to pull down. Gravity is your friend. You don't have to work against it. When I'm holding like this, I'm now flexing my hands and I'm shaking the camera back and forth. Get a top handle at all costs and get a decent one because you're gonna be able to use it from camera to camera to camera. This top handle is one of my favorites. It has all my audio GAC that I need up here, plus the XLR inputs. Not only with the top handle, get your ninja walk on. Learn how to plant your heel lightly and then shift your weight forward. Never stomp when you're walking. When you let your foot thud, that momentum is going to go right through to the camera and it's going to shake it. It's all about getting your foot planted on the ground and then slowly shifting your weight into it. This is the ninja walk. When you get good at it, your footage will begin to look like it's on a gimbal. Often people will say, hey, what gimbal did you use? And I didn't. I rarely use gimbals. You can see in all this footage here of how soft I'm shifting my weight, and then once my foot is on the ground, that's when I begin to lean into my leg. But just a little guidance on which lenses to use at different times. When you're outdoors, it usually means you're gonna be following people. There's just more space, they're gonna be walking more. So try to be on a 16 mil to 25 mil, maybe 35, but in that range, that 16 to kind of maybe 30 mil, that's a great range for following people because when it's wider, it's more forgiving when you're walking. If you're indoors and you're shooting someone around their house, there's less movement, you kind of plant your feet a bit more. That 35 mil to 85 is more acceptable for handheld. You can kind of plant the camera in on your body and you don't have to be walking around as much. But then anytime you're shooting past 85 mil, you need a monopod or a tripod. Get away from the handheld once you hit 85 mil. It just gets too shaky, too aggressive. You can do a bit of handheld on a 70 to 200 if it's image stabilized and you have it on your shoulder or you have it planted into your hip, but I wouldn't go past that. Those are the rules of thumb. I love the 24 mil. I would shoot an entire documentary on the 24 mil if I hadn't found the Helios. The 24 mil Sigma and the Helios, I pretty much shoot with them exclusively for my documentaries these days, unless there's another lens and look that I'm going for. I feel like I talked a lot on this video. Appreciate you watching this far. Appreciate you supporting this channel and would love to get your feedback on other types of videos you would love to hear from me. And if this comes out before Christmas, have a very Merry Christmas. And if it's after, I hope I left that in. I hope you're having an amazing new year. I know I am. Been taking some time off at the time of this being posted just to enjoy life. I was here in Hawaii and tried to do as much relaxing as I could, but inevitably, here I am working. It's how it is. Can get a bit screwy. All right, you guys have a good day, and I'll see you on the next one.